Hello, and welcome back to the Very Real Estate Effect podcast, a show dedicated to real estate investing right here in Quebec. How is it going, Dino?
Going great. How are you?
Good, good.
Was that event last night epic, huh?
Yeah,
That dinner
it was.
Yesterday?
Yeah, we had a dinner. So for everyone who's listening and who can't see, we had a Very Real Estate Effect dinner last night with 12 real estate investors. We stayed until very late into the night. And I like to think it was halfway between like a party, a coaching, a mastermind, and just a fun time.
Like-minded people, great food, great conversations, very inspiring. I love it. I cannot wait for the next one.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite excited. And we've started this a little while ago. This was the second edition. It's by invitation only, 12 investors. And it's a really fun event. And if anyone is ever interested in joining, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, man. Hey, Amin, how are you, man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, so I mean, let's so before we start, I'd like to introduce you properly. You are AMIN DAMYAR, the founder and CEO of a wonderful company called Hive Intercom. And before we're going to get into all this, but you've essentially developed one of the first smart intercom system for large buildings.
Yeah, that's true. So Hive Intercom is a smart entry intercom system for medium to large buildings of any sort. So most of our clients are residential buildings. So yeah.
Very nice. So we're going to get to unpack all of that. But before we go any further, like, first of all, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and how did you even get to the point of having the idea to start such a product?
Well, it's a funny story. A few years ago, I was in the condo building that I was living in downtown Montreal. I was a syndicate board member, and at that point in time, we needed to upgrade our entry intercom system in the building. And I've worked in various tech companies before, so the board put me in charge of finding a good solution for the for the entrance door. And something you should know about me is that I'm obsessed with home automation. Everything I have at home, I have like smart plugs, smart doorbells, smart curtains. Everything is controlled with my iPhone. So that's an obsession that I have. So when it came down to finding an intercom solution, I knew exactly what I wanted, because I knew the technology was there. I wanted a entry system that would connect to my smartphone, and I could see video and be able to give access to my visitors, because you have Ring doorbell that's becoming almost a standard for houses. Yeah. But I wanted a similar thing for larger buildings. And to my frustration, it didn't exist. That product a few years ago, it did not exist, which was very frustrating to me. And so I just went back to the board and I told them, guys, what I was looking for doesn't really exist right now, but give me 1 year and I'll make us one.
I'll build it.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I did. I contacted some friends, I put up a team together, and we started working on this project. And 1 year later, we had our first prototype installed at our own building. It has 130 units, and it was a hit. The feedback was fantastic from the neighbors, and that's how it all started.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Like you actually needed it for your building, so you just went to say, I'm gonna go develop one.
Yeah,
he didn't go small. He didn't go like 6 or 8 units. Let's go 130. No, 130 problems, no problem. Let's do it. Come on, go big or go home, huh?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to get to that point, you must have done some research on the market, though, because before you go and develop such an enterprise, like me, I would just go and just go buy another one. But like, there was nothing good that could suit your needs.
I mean, today there's a lot of companies that do this, but a few years ago, no, it just didn't exist. What I was looking for did not exist a few years ago. So that's why I was forced to build one myself.
So tell us a bit about your product. So you, for those who don't see it, because they're listening, in the background, he actually has one, and presentations. It looks like a huge iPad. Well, tell us a bit about the product.
It's actually not that huge. It's a 10-inch touchscreen display. Sure, it's a little bit bulkier than an iPad, but it's because it's got to be, you know, resistant to public use. Yeah, it's a 10-inch touchscreen display that you install at the main entrance of a building. There's a directory, a name directory. You either scroll through the names or search using the search feature, and the visitor will call the resident of choice, and then the residents will receive a video call on their phones. They will be able to see who's outside and give access to to their visitors.
So it's directly linked to your phone. You don't have like something in intercom in your condo or apartment or whatever. It's on the phone only.
Yeah, it's on the phone. So some folks, you know, when they prefer to have an in unit, what they usually use is like a family iPad or something for those that wish to have like an in unit intercom device. But for most people, they just use their phones, so they could get their calls personally to them.
Yeah, makes sense. And then does that mean that you're also getting rid of the I can only call a local line problem? Because I had that in my previous building where actually for years in our unit it didn't work because we didn't have a proper phone line.
Exactly. So a lot of these telephone intercom systems are limited to local numbers, and you know, with the telephone packages that we have today, everyone has a Canada-wide line, right? So when someone moves from one city to another, they usually don't change their Toronto number or their, you know, so when they move to another city, they don't want to change their number. That means they can't use their intercom system. So that's a big frustration for them as well.
Yeah.
So I'm in, so you had a problem, and instead of taking the easy way out is buying another shitty intercom, because you know they're the old ones with the buttons are like 1860s. Yeah. You decided, look, I'm gonna build one. So I mean that takes balls to do it, because you have to produce, invent, create something that does not exist. You had it in your mind for sure, how you saw the product and the finished product and all that, but walk us through what were you thinking? How am I going to fund this? How am I going to create this? How, like, the back end, how does it work? You know, so what was going through your mind with all that?
I mean, I've worked in various tech startups before doing this. So, you know, I'm a finance graduate, but I never worked a single day in finance, unfortunately. My first job, I worked in a web development agency, and that's when I was first introduced to the tech world, and it sort of sucked me in. And after that, I worked for various different companies. So I kind of, you know, I'm not a programmer by trade, but I'm very familiar with how things work, and I was familiar with what it would take to take on such a project.
Between the moment where the board tells you like, hey, we need one, you have basically, and you said I have 1 year to develop something, like I wouldn't know where to start just from the hardware standpoint. Like, how did you go about it? Because it's actually pretty impressive what you've done.
Well, thank you. I mean, you just dive right into it, right? There's no process here. You just dive right into it and you try to figure it out. There's a software part of it and there's the hardware part of it. I kind of had a plan for both. You know, from a hardware point of view, we found our manufacturer in China, you know, that would be able to give us our product based on the specs and the design that we provided. And from a software point of view, I just started going to a lot of tech networking events to find a co-founder. And you know, I would go to, you know, more than almost every day I would find myself an event to go to, and I'd start like pitching to different people and try to find someone that would be just as excited as I am about this project. And I finally found my co-founder Alejandro, who was very excited and passionate about what I was thinking of taking on, and he said, yes, I'm in. And he's an excellent developer. He's very good at what he does, and the entire infrastructure, the software, the whole thing, he created. And so yeah, the software, all that tech part, that was all him. You know, we both sort of came together to figure out how we could deal with the hardware part. And apart from that, we wanted something that's more than just the regular traditional intercom. So we had to really understand the problems that people were facing. So I went ahead and I did probably more than 150 interviews with different property managers, residents, delivery people, building owners, whoever that has anything to do or would be somewhat interested in the product of this. I did interviews with to sort of really understand the world from their point of view. And I learned a lot of really interesting stuff. For example, like with delivery people, I know like a typical Amazon delivery man would probably have to, on average, they would be delivering around 250 packages a day. And they're not going home before all those packages are being delivered, right? So when they come to a building and the entrance system is complicated or confusing, or the folks are not picking up, they're getting frustrated because they can't spend too much time. They only have like less than a minute to spend per building. So what they end up doing is they're going to try a little bit and then leave a sticker or just leave the boxes on the floor just outside and leave. So that told us that what we have to build is something super seamless, super easy to use. So when you approach the touchscreen device, it should be intuitive. You should know how to use it without thinking, and it should just work seamlessly. So that was like one thing that with property managers, we found that a lot of the times our property managers are hesitant towards introducing additional tech to their buildings. So what happens is that because of all the different platforms that they have to deal with, you have the access control system, you have the property management software, and smart buildings are becoming a thing now. So every other thing that you introduce, there's a new dashboard, a new user pass that they have to deal with. So based on that feedback, what we decided to do is like, what, we'll take care of everything. We'll do the directory management for you. You just put this thing on the wall, and you don't have to think about it. So we want to make the lives of the property managers simpler. So we interviewed all these people, and we try to solve everyone's problem in their own little way.
Nice. Well, what about the financial part? Did you have to find investors to invest in this business or this idea? Because it's a lot of idea.
Yeah. A lot of it was bootstraps by myself and my my co-founder, but we also raised a little bit of money from family and friends.
Love money.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Great interview. It's been a real pleasure. For anyone who's listening, as usual, if you want to continue supporting us in getting great guests, please leave us a rating, send us some comments, send us some feedback. We try to respond to absolutely everything we get. And please go visit realestateeffects.ca and keep in touch for the next events if you'd like to join the community.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for coming, Amin.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
All right. Thank you very much. Dino, you want to take us out?
Yeah, so guys, don't forget to like and give us good reviews. Share. People want to know our stories, our guests, they want to meet them. So share the great news, and see you on the next episode.
Thank you, and peace out.